Hello, celebrity gossip enthusiasts. I'm Travis Courtney. You're listening to Us Weekly's Hot Hollywood podcast. Well, I'm not here by myself. Today, I am joined by my two amazing co-hosts. The first, the siren of the beauty world, Miss Gwen Flamberg.
I love being on your podcast, Travis, because I feel seen. I really feel seen. Thanks for that intro. Hi, guys.
You are seen, Gwen. And we have the referee of Bachelor Nation, Sarah Huron.
A very tired Sarah Heron, because The Bachelorette is back and the ABC will not give me a break. But, let's do a quick plug here for the right reasons. Great new episode about the premiere out now.
Did they even have a break between Paradise and this? Has there been a single day in this life without a Bachelor content?
1 week.
Oh, nice.
And they aired 2 episodes of Dancing with the Stars instead.
Wow. Well, thank you for keeping up on it and keeping these hoes in check. Well, today we have an emo engagement, a charity refusing a donation, Halloween coming far too early for an incognito rapper, a meltdown in front of a divorce attorney's office, and much, much more. But let's start off with our woes of the week. These are the stories that made our hosts pause and really reflect on their lives and all celebrities' lives and made them go, whoa. Sarah Huron, what in the world of the celebrity made you go, whoa, this week?
Travis, I was struggling with my woe this week. And then I just actually remembered, are we talking about Olivia Jade being in the bottom 2 of Dancing with the Stars?
We are not.
Well, we are now. Sorry, Alexa Pennevega's 2-year-old son who lost half his finger, which was going to be my woe. That is just, not fun. And I feel bad for that family. But I love an excuse to bring up the fact that they combined their names, Pennevega, to be one. But let's talk about OJ. She was in the bottom 2, you guys, on Dancing with the Stars, and the look on her face, you could tell she was freaking out. She was so nervous. I feel like more so just because she's out here like talking about how amazing this is, and she's actually getting good scores, and I think she's going to be really upset if she doesn't make it like to the finals. And because her scores are so good, the reason she's in the bottom 2 is because people aren't voting for her. I'm doing my best, Olivia. But also this comes on the heels of her having to clap back at a TikToker who was claiming that her and her married partner were hooking up. So, you guys, she can't escape scandal. She's actually really good at dancing, but she was in the bottom 2, and that's your Olivia Jade update.
Oh, my goodness. Well, she's also been, pictured back with Jackson. I have a feeling that they're going to get back together. The toxicity that is her and Jackson will be...
I think our girl is playing the game and wanted to be spotted with her ex-boyfriend so people stop saying that she's hooking up with her married partner.
Oh, savvy Olivia Jade.
Maybe I'm giving her too much credit.
Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. Gwen Flamberg, is yours also Olivia Jade being in the bottom 2 because of her amazing dance skills?
Nope. It's not, but it does have to do with a tiny dancer. You guys, in the new installation of Tiffany's ads, The Carters, Beyonce and Jay-Z took to Venice. They were, in a vaporetto, looking gorgeous, going on date night. Beyonce in a gorgeous pale blue gown with diamonds galore. And then all of a sudden, there's a tiny tot who joins them. And of course, it was Blue Ivy doing a little tippity-tap dance. I mean, that family, I kind of want them to adopt me. I would like to be the sister of Blue Ivy. They could call me Gwen Red. I'd like it.
The pictures were gorgeous. They've had so many stunning photos in Venice.
That Venice set is out of control. And you guys, of course, you know what to do. If you haven't seen them, go to usmagazine.com/stylish to see every pic from the campaign.
Seriously, glamour.com.org.edu, donate, GoFundMe. They are just fantastic. Well, my woe of the week is for a little lady called Lisa Rinna. Don't call her Vanderpump. She was on the shocking and amazing Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion part 2 of 4 this week, which I cannot get enough of. It is a legendary time all in itself. But what stood out to me is that Lisa admitted to Andy Cohen that the reason that Amelia Gray broke up with Scott Disick was because of his leaked DMs about Kourtney Kardashian. Now, if you remember, Eunice posted all of these DMs from Scott sort of talking crap about Travis and Courtney and Travis. And it really seemed like he was still thirsting after her. And Lisa admitted that, yes, that is one of the reasons that Amelia broke up with Scott. So are we surprised? No, but it still made me go, whoa, that Lisa Rinna admitted like the reason for their breakup so timely and so soon after it. And I was sort of glad to be getting some of that tea from Lisa Rinna, who just thank you for not holding back ever in your life.
My favorite part was when Andy was like, did Amelia end the relationship? And Lisa goes, you just have to read the media. But yes, it was Amelia. Like she immediately that's just Rinna.
That is our Rinna, and God bless her for it. Well, let us get into the news. Drum roll, please. Of course, we are talking about Travis. Yes, not my favorite celebrity couple name in the world because it sort of sounds like my name, but it sort of sounds like crevice. So I feel like it's, when I put on a dress and I have back rolls, that is a crevice. So this Travis engagement, of course, has taken all of the wind, put the wind in our sails. I ship them harder than ever. I was sort of just laughing at them before, but now I am so into them as a full-blown relationship. Just in case you missed it, last Sunday, October 17th, Travis popped the question on Santa Barbara, California, not Santa Monica, not on the pier. He did it on the beach with, 200,000 roses and tons of candles in true Kardashian form. We're hearing a lot of new info about them. A source tells us that Courtney thinks Travis is his soulmate and this is forever, and they're even thinking about having babies together. The source also said that she loved the engagement. He totally surprised her with this magical proposal, and it was like a scene from a Disney movie. Now that the dust has settled in the Travis engagement, Sarah Huron, do you have any thoughts on their relationship? Do you like them more? Are you scared? Are you gonna, follow every move that they make for the rest of their lives?
Wow. That's a lot of questions.
Yep.
I'm really just thinking wow, Courtney's going to have to keep up this punk thing for a long time if they stay together, because that's really been a wild transformation for her. You know what? Obviously, they are madly in love with each other, and who am I to hate on that? I think the proposal was a little cheesy. I also think maybe they got engaged privately and this was like a Hulu moment thing. That's a conspiracy theory I've seen going around.
Like that.
Maybe it was so over the top for the show, because Chloe was on Ellen today saying that they will be releasing the Hulu show in January or February, which is a quick turnaround, and they just started filming a couple weeks ago. So I'm excited for that. But obviously my initial instinct was where in the world is Scott Disick, and is his therapist by his side? People forget Scott tried to propose to Courtney a lot of times, and she never even entertained it. And she
5 times maybe, officially?
And sometimes as a joke, not really. And on the last season of Kardashians, he literally was saying in all seriousness, I'd marry her right now. And we know now that was when her friendship with Travis was starting to become something. So I'm really honestly, genuinely not joking, worried about Scott Disick.
Yes, I think we all are worried about Scott Disick. He has had, to say he's had drug and substance abuse issues in the past would be a heavy understatement.
Yeah.
Gwen Flamberg, what are your Travis thoughts?
Someone had to mop me up after I saw that ring. The ring was amazing. You guys, estimated at $1 million, a giant honkin' north-south oval engagement ring. I loved it so much. I think that, I don't know. I'm still not 100% certain that this is true love. I'm along for the ride with Sarah Heron that, have I been pronouncing your name wrong all this time?
I really thought it was Huron.
Yeah, I thought you guys did it ironically.
We did.
I don't, is this all for the Hulu show? Is this a moment for television? Who knows? But the world needs a little love, and we all got a little love from that engagement. And cheesy as it may have been, it's kind of like that is the ultimate fantasy engagement, right? With a gajillion roses in public on a beach. Listen, they are such a wild card couple, but I'm shipping it. I'm totally shipping it. I don't know if it's for the long run, but I'm really happy that it's for right now.
And I'd like to throw out my prediction: New Year's Eve wedding.
Ooh,
just enough, because they love a quick turnaround.
Yes.
And they love I could just see it being so over the top. Like Halloween would be maybe a little too
obvious.
Campy. Yeah. I think we got to go with, I think New Year's Eve, I'm telling you, and it's going to be a spectacle. And for the fact that I have to work on New Year's Eve is pretty devastating, but for my entertainment, I'm all in on my prediction.
I love soothsayer medium Sarah because she usually has some very, very salient points. And
I'm witchy sometimes.
You are witchy. Happy spooky season. My favorite thing about this whole engagement, Gwen, I agree. It's tough to figure out whether this is true love or they're sort of caught up in the hype in it. But she's a Kardashian. Do they even know, that line is so blurred now, whether it's real or for the show. Their lives are so public and intertwined. I feel like it messes with your head a little bit. So I believe that this is, to the best of their abilities, absolute true love. But my main takeaway from this is Courtney finally gets to be the main character in the Kardashians. She has been fighting this game for 15, 20 years maybe, and she has never not once been the main character. And this is her first chance to actually do that and be the star sister for the length of the time they've been in the public eye. And I am really happy that she gets to do this. She's not known as the nicest Kardashian, but I still believe she deserves her time to shine.
Travis, dare we say she's right now the most interesting to look at?
Absolutely.
Oh, she said it. It has been decreed, and I second. She is the most interesting to look at.
And before we move on, I'd just like to ask if Scott Disick's therapist is listening. When he's done with his extensive therapy, please go check on Shanna Mokler, Travis Barker's ex-wife, because she also is not taking the news very well from everything I'm hearing.
Well, she posted on Instagram a story right after the engagement, and she said closed for spiritual maintenance. Wow. So at least she's in the repair shop, which is nice for her. I'm glad she's gotten herself there. Maybe, went to the place that Megan Fox and MGK go for their ayahuasca to get some spiritual healing.
That would be triggering to see those two because they're the same species of a Travis.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yes, they are. Well, thank you to Courtney and Travis for giving us so much fodder to talk about. And I am officially, it's been confirmed in my mind that they're having a New Year's Eve wedding. It sounds so perfect for them. And I am very into that life. Well, do you know who might not be having a New Year's wedding? Lala Kent. Because there is a lot of messiness and not wearing engagement rings. Sarah Heron, as a lifelong Vanderpump Rules watcher and stan, what is going on in the world of Lala Kent and Vanderpump Rules and this guy that she may or not be marrying?
Okay, so Lala and Randall have been together since 2015, but public 2017 because he was married and going through a public divorce. And they got engaged in 2018, wedding postponed because of COVID, tale as old as time here. Quick background. Now, Lala has been known to wipe Randall from her Instagram before, archive photos. She hasn't blocked on the app, actually. So when people are they unfollowed each other, they've never been following each other. She's one of those weird ones. And last summer, something similar happened right before she announced that she was pregnant. And she was saying that, she gets mad at Randall and sometimes she's younger than him. There's a 20-year age difference. And sometimes she still acts petty. And that's when she archives her photos. And she's like, if that's the worst thing I do, then we're fine. So when this happened over the weekend, people were like, okay, is this Lala being Lala? Does she want attention? She had a book signing this week. That's what James Kennedy kind of implied. But there are these blurry photos of Randall in Nashville with two women behind him walking into a hotel room. Obviously doesn't look good. Randall is out here on his Instagram still posting photos of their daughter, Ocean, promotion and Lala's promotion for her book and kind of trying to make it seem like everything's okay. Meanwhile, Lala has ditched the engagement ring, posting Beyonce cheating lyrics, and liked a meme about how her army would go off if Randall did in fact cheat. Page Six has reported it's over. TMZ has reported they're working it out. Kind of makes me think that Lala's telling people it's over and Randall's holding out hope, and who knows what the hell is really going on.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, 20-year age gap is rough enough. And when the older man is cheating on you, I feel like that has to hit like a little bit different to you.
Yeah.
A la Erica Jane and Tom Girardi, especially if they're cheating with a woman who's like 15 years your senior. You're like, oh, I really didn't have the personality or the generational compatibility with this guy. And he left me. Gwen Flamberg, from what you've seen, what is going on? Are they together forever, or is this donezo?
I'm just going to say it's probably donezo.
I'm sure it is. Sorry, Haran, I love how you read between the lines and look, and you're like, Lala's telling one thing to this outlet, he's telling another thing. It is a great way to look at it. Yeah. Well, we'll be here next week to discuss the terms of their breakup or whatever may be the case.
I think she's going to go back.
Oh, that's classic Lala, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I read that book and one time when she doesn't drink anymore, she's sober now, which is good. But one time when she was mad at him, she put her toothbrush,
Jesus,
in her ass and then let him brush his teeth.
Oh, wow.
He didn't know.
It's a very real world move. Okay.
So things could get dark quick.
God, the little bits of knowledge we drop on this podcast just stay with you for a lifetime, don't they? Well, speaking of images that will stay with me, and I know all of us for a lifetime, Kanye West has been internationally walking around wearing these really, really crazy, creepy masks. Luckily, this British newspaper, not even one of the big ones, got to the bottom of who the mask was. But let's start back to the beginning, because it all started in New York City when he met with Michael Cohen, crossover politics thing we got going here in New York. And he was wearing this huge rubber, really, really strange mask. Last Tuesday, he grabbed coffee on the Upper East Side of New York City with Michael Cohen, who's of course the former attorney for former President Trump. And Cohen,
it's a cute attorney, an eternity.
It is an eternity for him. And Michael Cohen is only allowed to leave his house on Tuesday mornings because he is on house arrest for pleading guilty to tax fraud, campaign finance violations, blah, blah, blah. That is not really our thing. But so he's only allowed to go out on Tuesday morning. So they met on a Tuesday morning, and we don't know why they met, and we don't know why Kanye West was in a strange mask, but Michael Cohen spoke to Page Six, and he says Kanye West was wearing it so that people would not recognize him. I mean, great way to not draw attention to yourself, Kanye. And he said it, quote, did not really work. Of course, Kanye West, we should call him Ye, because that is his new, sorry, Ye, officially on paper, legally. And then he was seen walking around in that creepy mask. He got a yellow cab to the airport. He went to Venice and he wore a different color version of that mask. And luckily, people found out that his all-white mask was an homage to Fantomas, the villain from a 1964 French comedy crime film. Now, we say that there's a lot to unpack here. I'm not even sure where to start. Gwen Flamberg, what do you think of all of that?
I'm so confused. I'm just so confused. And I imagine it must be so hot to be inside one of those masks while you're sitting and across the table from, an eternity. But Kanye just loves to be provocative, and he, will go underground because he doesn't want attention, but yet he really is seeking attention by wearing these masks. So I don't really understand what's going on. while people are trying to figure out, like, are they or aren't they with he and Kim, as the divorce apparently is becoming final, he's just got to be provocative in another way. So he's been wearing these masks, but I got to tell you, they are creeping me out. Also creeping me out, his half-shaved head. If you want to read about that haircut, go to usmagazine.com/stylish.
Yeah, he got quite the butcher job in the back of his head. Definitely an interesting picture to check out. Also burned in my mind. Sarah Huron, tell us what is going on. Can you put any saliency into this crazy mask wearing, jetting all over the world? What's going on in Kanye West?
This is Yee trying to get some attention because Kim is killing it on SNL and Courtney is engaged to Travis, and he, hasn't had too, I'm sure he's got stuff going on, but he hasn't been getting the attention that he craves from the Kardashian family. And that he got from the Kardashian family. And I think this is just classic Yee, trying to get some attention. And Kim and us also doing that thing where she's not showing any part of her skin at all. She's wearing the tight clothes and wearing gloves. It's obviously less extreme than what Kanye's doing right now, but they're definitely in this weird phase of fashion and, dare I say, aliens, but I don't want to offend Demi Lovato, or do I? I don't really care.
How dare you say that? They are not aliens. They are extraterrestrials. They can hear you and they are offended.
Yeah, I think this is just the next thing we know. Kanye will have a show about aliens too. It's just all too much.
It is all too much. Interesting point that they're all wearing clothes all over their body, sort of head to toe, mask since the Met Gala. It has brought in a new era of creepiness that none of us understand, but maybe we're just not on their level. And in a few years, we will understand and be covering ourselves from head to toe and wearing creepy rubber masks out in public. Who knows? Well, do you know who wore things out in public that I loved this week? Gwen Flamberg, I know you did too. Angelina Jolie's kids showed up to the premiere of The Eternals, which first of all looks amazing. And they were all wearing her old dresses. A lot of her kids were. Tell us about that. A lot
when
of them.
You have so many kids, they just get referred to as a lot of her kids. So first of all, I just thought that it was so amazing that she brought 5 of her kids to the premiere of The Eternals. What a show-stopping red carpet moment. But then if you looked a little bit closer, Zahara was wearing the Elie Saab gown that Angelina wore to the 2014 Oscars. And Shiloh was wearing a dress that Angelina had actually worn this past year when she was in Paris. Just the 2 of them were wearing her clothes.
Okay.
Maybe the other kids dig into her closet for things a lot of the time. If my mom was Angelina Jolie, I certainly would.
Preach.
Although, of course, everything would be too long on me and probably too small. But anyway, it was just sort of life-giving because obviously these kids have all the money in the world to go shop and buy whatever they want. But not only were they recycling, upcycling fashion, because that's a big topic in the fashion industry in terms of waste and what we're doing to the environment. Exactly. Yeah. And Angelina is, of course, a social justice advocate. But, what I thought was so amazing was that Zahara, who I think looks much more mature than her age, shows the red carpet dress of Angelina's that was very mature looking. I was kind of why are you wearing this dress that is so mature looking? You look like you're 48 years old. But nonetheless, all of the 5 looks were coordinated. It made for an amazing picture. It was an incredible red carpet moment. And I would like to see more of Angelina's kids on the red carpet at all times.
Yeah, and that Elie Saab dress it was a little too old for her and sort of swallowed her, but it's just such a pretty dress. It is one of the pretty dress. They were all earth tones, which I thought was really cute. And I hope this is sort of a trend that we see in the celebrity world, that their offspring, Amelia Gray has been high on this trend, wearing her mother's old dresses.
I love that.
I love when she does that. And like you said, it's good for the environment. We love it because we love a little recycled moment on a different person. I thought it was just lovely. Just lovely. Well, someone who's not really having a lovely week, Meghan McCain. I really tried to root for her because it's hard to be the only conservative voice on The View with a lot of strong personalities, but she's making it a little bit hard for me. Her sort of book, her audio book, Bad Republican, is out next week. She didn't actually write it. She just sat in front of a microphone and talked for 6 hours, and it is a memoir. She talks a lot about The View being a toxic place to work, and that her colleagues were, quote, terrible, horrible, awful people and made her life a living hell. Meghan McCain says she suffered toxic, direct, and purposeful hostility from 2 people, Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg, who she says grew meaner every day and less forgiving. With every passing day, if I had become an avatar for everything they hated about President Trump. She adds that Whoopi in particular had open disdain for her, often cutting her off when she was speaking during commercial. And Meghan said, once she turns on you, it can create unfathomable tension at the table. Meghan says she broke down sobbing during the commercial break. It felt like I had been slapped, and that escalated into a full-blown panic attack after the episode wrapped. She says that is not worth it. Nothing is life is worth it. Meghan later asked for an apology from Joy Behar because she had humiliated me live on air, but she never received one. And to make matters worse, she felt as she was often depicted as an unhinged lunatic. And that is why she decided to quit before her contract was up. She also said the women were leaking stories about her. And what I found really interesting about this story is I felt like I was watching a Real Housewives reunion. There was lots of like, oh, she's toxic. They're leaking stories to the press on me. Everyone is ganging up on me. And I really got Real Housewives reunion vibes. Sarah, what did you think of this audiobook? And do you think it's a little weird that she didn't write the book and she just recorded it? Or is that a cool new thing in celebrity memoirs that I missed?
Yeah, no, I mean, Meghan McCain is just a lot at all times. And she did certainly look like a lunatic many times on that show. I don't know if it was inaccurate or not. I don't work on The View. I don't know her. But I always thought it was interesting because what I really know of Meghan McCain is what I see on Watch Robin's Live, because she's a guest on that a decent amount. Andy and her have like a rapport. She's a big Housewives fan. I don't love her like dying defense of Erica Jane. I think it's freaking weird. And she thinks they're friends and she tried to like copy her hairstyles. That being said, she always would talk about on Watch Robin's Live that like behind the scenes, like her and Joy like drink whiskey and they were friends and stuff. And I know like the last couple of years, like the political culture has gotten more intense and maybe that's why, but I never believed her. I was always like, I feel like Joy actually hates you and you think like you're friends, but she would always say that. And like every time she was on, like defend their friendship. And so now to have it kind of all fall apart doesn't surprise me, but it's just interesting because she would always go to bat to say that like things behind the scenes were actually like okay when the camera stopped rolling at The View, and now she's changing her tune. So I don't know, take it with a grain of salt, I think.
I love that I forgot that she was trying to single white female. Don't even know if you know that movie, Sarah Huron. Erica Jane, that she was really like trying to become her. She thought they were friends, and her unrelenting defense of her is a little strange. Gwen Flamberg, how do you feel about Megs and her memes?
I really don't feel a lot about it. I don't know this story. I don't care about this story. Give me a dress on a red carpet or an engagement ring. That's really all I've been caring about this week.
Great. I hope that she goes as Erica Jane for Halloween, and that will give me something to really care about Meghan McCain, and she could really win me over with just doing that, dressing up as the pretty mess. All right, let's move on to some ridiculous paparazzi shots this week. Sarah, tell us about Tori Spelling and the ridiculous photos that we've seen online of her yelling into a cell phone in front of a divorce attorney's office. And then she donned some Mickey Mouse ears the next day. It's all very strange. What is going on here?
Oh, you know my girl, Tori. She's just always going through it. And there's been speculation about Dean and Tori for like over a year now. He will clap back in an Instagram comment saying like, yeah, we're still married. And I feel like he means it like as a fact, not in an actual they are married, because Tori took wife out of her Instagram bio a long time ago, has not publicly acknowledged Dean in forever. I listen to interviews she does and she never brings him up. So they seemingly seem pretty like separated. And a source has told us that they're really only together for the kids. They break up, they get in a a fight or whatever, then she comes back. So it's not like he's moved out or anything, but they're kind of just like living. Like she was just in Malta for a month for filming some reality show. Cannot freaking wait for that. Like sign me up. But for now, she is outside of a lawyer's office, screaming into a cell phone. It looks straight out of a scene of a Lifetime movie.
Yes.
I personally think she's a good enough actress to be pulling this off, but others may not. But the best part is the notes on the notepad, because of course it's zoomed quite in, and it says an outline listing: pig pen, get quote, AAA jumpstart van, 3 p.m. lawyer, assets support custody.
It's those last three.
Yeah, like I don't know what else 3 p.m. lawyer, assets support custody could mean. And is part of, you know, the assets this pig pen, because we know Tori likes animals. Is she worried if her and Dean break up that she will lose custody of their pigs?
And who's going to get the AAA membership? The number one question. Who will get that AAA membership? They're only free for a year the first time you sign up for them. Now, this was, so as a Tori Spelling apologist, fan, you know, for many, many years, what did you think when you saw these photos? They look a little bit on the setup, but then they don't look set up. You know, what are your thoughts as someone who knows Tori better than any of us?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I feel like I do. I've read all 5 books. I watched every show. I think that Tori needs to leave Dean. I think that she is out here, you know, hustling. She's on Messiness. She's got the 90210 podcast with Jenny. She's really trying, and I support her. And she has dedicated fans that will, you know, follow her on. She gets like a lot of deals, and this things get canceled after like a season. So I'm really rooting for her, and I think that she could do better. And I know she's got 5 kids, and that's going to be stressful, and divorce is expensive, and she's got financial issues that have been very well established in the media. But I think that this is a good sign. I think she should be getting her ducks in a row. I think that she should, you know,
her pigs in a row. Yes. Yeah,
get her pigs in a row, get her pig pen in a row, and start fresh. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think it needs to be Tori and Dean forever anymore. Like I don't know. I feel like it's just not working. But that's really just based on my guessing.
Unhappily ever after. Gwen Flamberg, what were your thoughts when you saw her screaming into this phone, talking about the pig pen and the AAA?
I for sure thought that it was a setup, because that would be a very Tori thing to do. So I think that she is seeking attention for this. I don't know that she actually will go through with the split. I think those two are in that like toxic push me, pull you. I don't know that it'll ever end. And I think that that's what they thrive on. I certainly do not know Tori as well as Sarah Heron does. However, you know, I would really like to see her have like a solid act 2 and be happy.
Yeah.
So my fingers are crossed that she chooses to make some change in her life, but I am not holding my breath for that. I don't think that it's going to happen.
I think we have a Tori second act set up. She is looking great. She is clearly taking great care of herself. She's possibly leaving Dean. She's going to Malta to film reality shows. That is a great step for Tori. So I have a good feeling that she might leave Dean. And then I think all of us would be there for Tori, and especially Sarah Heron.
And I'm sure there's a reality camera that would be there for Tori dating, like WeTV maybe, like would totally give her a shot at one last reality dating show.
Yeah, Tori in Love, the spelling bee. That's not my job. Someone.
Well, there was Tori and Dean in Love, a show where they ran an Airbnb, so that would be savage. Should just be like Tori in Love, and maybe the contestants come to the Airbnb. She brings back the Airbnb, and people try out to date her. I mean, call me any freaking time, Tori. I'm here for you.
We will make it work. Good luck to Tori and the Spelling family. Well, thanks as always to my hosts, Sarah and Gwen, for helping me spill all of this piping hot celebrity this week. Again, this is Travis Cronin on Us Weekly's Hot Hollywood podcast with your weekly peek into the glamour, glitter, fashion fame of your favorite celebrities. Because after all, they're just like
I can't with the slow motion, you guys. We are quick moving New Yorkers.
It's really tough. It's tough.
Oh my God, that was extra spooky. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you next week.